everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Leanna. I'm an intuitive energy healer, a channeler for Sophia consciousness, specifically the Lost Mother, which is a hidden stream of Sophia consciousness who's here to help us with restoration and being received and the awakening of the divine body. I sat with the intention to do the first sort of crystalline wave healing journey here at my parents' backyard, which can include grief witnessing with the land songs, and an energy reading on what is needed here, or what needs to be witnessed and known. However, it turned out a little bit differently. Turns out I needed to look at myself, my own soul's journey here in order to do that, which I explain a little bit more in the beginning. So, video turned out a little bit differently than I thought it would, but it's still interesting, I hope. For me, it's weird to read for yourself. It's personally something that doing like a full reading on myself, besides just intuitive knowings, something I'm not really fond of, but it was necessary, and I knew it was going to be necessary at some point. I just didn't know it needed to be the first thing. So if you're new here, I have a goal or an intuitive nudge that on August 20th, I'm supposed to leave here and make a journey visiting 9 crystalline nodes through the United States up to Mount Hood, Oregon, arriving there around September 19th and staying for the autumn equinox. However, I am in need of support in order to get there. And I knew that starting here intuitively was what was needed. Leaving here is part of the healing and the completion of it. This sort of explains a little bit about why that is, at least for me. And so I'm sharing the journey to get there. If I don't feel supported, like I have enough support to do the journey without fragmenting, overstressing my being, my energy, then it won't happen August 20th. It will maybe happen at another time. But if you enjoy following these videos, there is a way for you to donate and support if you like. You can also participate in any of my services that I offer, from meditation bundles to workshops that are pre-recorded to my community containers or one-on-one sessions. I would love to see you there if you feel like my services resonate with you. You can check out all those links down below in the description, and I'll leave you to this video. Hope you enjoy it. I'm sitting outside at my parents' house, and I was trying to connect with the land to see what healing was needed here. And as I was doing that, well, first I felt a twinge in my heart space, kind of right here, and I was having trouble connecting with it. And it was because I was approaching from the wrong point, from the wrong way, or where I was meant to start. Which is, as I was sitting reflecting why I couldn't connect to do what I thought I was here to do, it was because I need to look at my own anchoring, my own connection to this point first, instead of just approaching it to what the land needs. So currently I'm in Hendersonville, North Carolina. It's about 25 minutes south of Asheville, North Carolina. I was born in Asheville, North Carolina, which is known as being a very energetic space, known for being an energetic node in the US. I know some people refer to it as the heart chakra in some cases. I had a very traumatic birth. Me and my mother almost died. I was a little bit early, but I'm not sure by how much. And we moved around different parts of Western North Carolina and South Carolina and returned to Hendersonville when I was 9. I've been living in Central North Carolina for the last 8 to 9 years. And called back here for certain things, like specifically for a solar eclipse in April of 2024, I believe, to where I was called to be out not during the solar eclipse, but during the night when the moon wasn't shining. But also, I also was out during the solar eclipse as well, against my guides' suggestions. But I also had an intuitive reading from a medium when I was around like 23 or 24, where it came up of a connection to a guide, a guardian that I had, being Native American from a past life where I was his partner, and it was located somewhere around this area, which I feel like it's probably not that unusual in the same location, because I also have another one in this location as well, not of living here for my whole life, but from dying here in a past life. Shit. Sorry, I just realized that's where I was supposed to go. So that past life where I died here was a mirror life to this life. Physically, I probably look very similar, and it was a life that was soul mission critical. was a life that was supposed to be an omega life, where I was planning to finish my mission. In that life, I was in an insane asylum at the end of my life. Now, sometimes I look at past life as collective memories, and the lives, the memories that are important from your soul for this life. I usually don't identify with them too much. Clearly, this one seems a bit important. I'm going to try to center myself, and we're going to see what I need to know about why I've been so anchored here in Asheville, North Carolina for many lives, and why it's calling me back now just to leave, and why leaving is the healing. When I center myself, I know that already came up, and usually that's an intuitive coming up, but I'm going to try to clear any expectations about what's going to come through. And so I'm opening the space to explore energetically why I've been called back here, why I'm so tied to this location, what I need to know before the land can receive from me. So it's kind of like I'm seeing the wave form of time, a crystalline, it looks crystalline, it's very iridescent light wave of time, and flashes of light, of memory. And energetically, Asheville, Western North Carolina, held keys, genetically, held keys intuitively in the land, energetically in the land, and ancestrally for this life, that were needed to be embedded in my being early on, encoded. It's like a mountain, although it's not one single mountain, but the gates, the convergence of time here, of elder knowledge, elder wisdom. It bridges time through the United States, through the Atlantic, upwards, up to the northern west gate, to a levee, a energetic origin point of time in the Pacific Ocean, but I've been anchored here, stationing my spine, my pillar here through birth as a cycle to return to fulfill codes held through my lifetimes here and elsewhere. They were laid here, laid down here, unknowingly, and fragmented, and taken, distorted here. It was a place that held heart, held soul tightly, my heart, my soul tightly, constricting me, not letting me move. It was and was not just the mirror life that I mentioned. There's codes left through other lives, feminine expressions. The mirror life acted as a pivot point when failing, the path was adjusted. That life, that soul learned to suppress exuberance, to suppress loudness for the mission in that way was being expressed through art and creativity. And I was loud. I was joy. But through missteps, misguided love, without stepping off the path at the right time, I fragmented, but needed to leave codes, leave energy, those joys, those exuberance, creativity, and expression in a heart bridge space. And that's why I lived so closely to where I died in my early 20s. That's why I explored places of death so much in my early 20s, there in that place, and walked through it at night in the liminal and the unseen. But it's containers, it's grid points, nodes that were laid before, previously, in other lives, ancestral gates and knowledge that I left and others left, in case time needed holding. The mountains, the hills hold, they see, they feel, they express wanting to assist with allowing the bridge, the gates, the keys to unveil, to lift. And it's the web. It's a web woven here that holds me in it so that I return for collect all the pieces left that are mine, but also activate the gate for the memory of the mountains, of the holding, of the ancestry that has been left. The grief blocks it. The grief not being known, not being witnessed, keeps it from being honored, keeps it from being seen. So it's like I died in grief. I died in loneliness, in being misunderstood in that life. And sorry, I just thought, I don't even think I was psychic in that life, or like expressed psychically, and then I heard she was, but didn't know it, didn't reveal it. That's why they thought I was crazy. And like I didn't make sense to them because I fragmented it. I didn't make it whole. But yeah, so I bring back to the grief. It's like that grief carried forward. And she left holes in the expression of me, of myself, that directly tie to anchoring light, activating through songs, through movement, through joy, because she expressed it so fully and was not received for it. She expressed it so fully and chose differently in the chaos of her life. She was loud and expressive and truthful. She didn't know the time, the herself in the way that maybe I do now. And she didn't meet her challenges, her obstacles, her karmic patterns that needed to be re-looped, that needed to be disentangled. Well, it wasn't her fault, because there were choices in time that were not hers, but she needed to leave me here, needed to lead me here. Leave me here? Lead me here. Both. To allow me to know her, to recognize her as part of this piece, this mission, this puzzle. For she didn't get the credit that she deserved for the work that she did, the writing, and the joy that she brought, even the children that she had. but she also needed you to pick up the pieces of her that need to be carried forward now. The other life, you mentioned the Native American life. It was peaceful, was a restful life with trials, but ultimately it was a crystalline weaving life of laying wisdom, knowledge in the grid points to be left for now. Going to see if any song to untether, reclaim any parts that were left from that life of mine that need to be reclaimed now. And I don't always know how the sound's going to come out, so could sound nice, could sound not. Sometimes it's just the emotions, the grief, the expression that needs to come out. I don't know que alem era cum e lo caio de mare e camoru que alem allora teu marca Zemmau ale he Zayato ala Me karu kere hakure alua Ve Allora me ale allo Allo ale aho ale Aho 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 Hey, 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 hey. I think that's all for today. So it turned out a little bit differently than I thought it would, but if you found this interesting, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time for probably another activation or something near here or nearby. Thanks for watching.